News Channel 5 Network. This is Urban Outlook.
Hello and welcome to Urban Outlook. I'm April Eaton. Thank you so much for being with us today. We know that Nashville is known for its music industry connection, but a recent story in the Wall Street Journal says Music City is being invaded by reality TV shows. A&E's Crazy Hearts is about songwriters looking for their big break. Private Lives of Nashville Wives is TNT's version of The Real Housewives. Lifetime's Chasing Nashville follows teenagers trying to make it big in the business. And then there's Thicker Than Water, Bravo's series about the life and interesting times of gospel jazz artist Ben Tankard and his family. We thought we would have the Tankards here today and talk just a little bit about their show and a lot about their scene in the spotlight these days. So thank you for joining me, Jewel Tankard,
hey,
Cyrene Tankard, and also Ben Tankard, who is that artist. And sorry I messed up your name there. We'll get it straight. But thank you so much and welcome to Urban Outlook.
Thanks for having us.
So as I said, Wall Street has pinpointed this as an invasion of reality TV. The industry period is just being invaded by this real life TV scenario. How did your show come about, Thicker Than Water?
Well, our daughter Brooklyn she's just so exciting, and she's always been into the lights and events and that sort of thing. And so we were just kind of goofing off, making up fun videos about each other and playing tricks on each other and putting it on YouTube, and she connected the dots with the videos with Bravo, and now we have a Cosby type reality show featuring our family.
Wow. And the reality of it all. So is it really real? Because that's what most people ask. Is reality TV really real, or is it kind of scripted? Is it your storylines that you come up with and that Bravo producers come up with for you?
I mean, I would definitely say it's real. I mean, pretty much all the storylines are pretty much true. Of course, there's going to always be some element of Hollywood in there, but the storylines pretty much were who we were, how we were portrayed. It's pretty much who we are. Now, you might not like what you see, but it pretty much is what it is.
So was anybody in the family, sort of hesitant about this all? Because being in the spotlight, having that camera following you around all the time can probably be a little bit difficult. So talk a little bit about your hesitation.
Well, I was like a sophomore in high school whenever we first started talking about it, and I was just kind of like, I don't really want to be involved. I kind of want to just, play volleyball, go to school, and then go to college and be a normal kid, nobody bother me. Then after college, okay, then the fame can come, but let me finish first. And then just having my life on blast for everybody to see was just kind of like, I don't like the idea of that. But my mom was just kind of like, okay, look, you just kind of have to do it. And I was like, all right, fine.
but some might say that you've got a dad for sure that's been in the spotlight anyway, with your whole background in gospel music and the artists that you produce. So you've kind of had a little bit of exposure to the big life, right? Some might say
different age group. So it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game.
She still doesn't believe I'm famous. So
I have
somebody
trouble.
recognizes me, she's like, how do you know you? I'm like, I've been trying to tell you your whole life.
There's a lot of people who know you.
I'm always like, what? Who are you?
I had no reservation about doing it because we earned our living and our lifestyle, homes, airplanes, cars, all that, through the sweat of my brow, busting my butt for the last 25 years as a gospel jazz artist. But we donate our time as senior pastors of a community church called Destiny Center. So my reservation about doing the show was that our charity would be used against us. People would see us pastoring at the church and then see the homes and the blessings and assume that we were just stealing from the people and living off the backs of the people. That was my reservation for doing the show.
Let's talk a little bit more about that, because there was some criticism, I think, that has come out about that whole thing. There was an article in Urban Faith, and it talked about the reality show about Ben Tankard and his family, I'm quoting here, does more to showcase their love of wealth than their love for God. That kind of alludes to the fact that you were saying there, you were worried about that, concerned about that. So how do you answer to that criticism that some have about your glorifying the prosperity of it all versus the faith-based side of you as well?
Well, I don't think you do answer to it. You just live your life, and people hang on long enough. They learn and they see, because it's hard to explain a life in a trailer. And somebody did a tweet and said, I don't think it's nothing more to you guys than just all the wealth and riches. I said, well, to say that a 30-second trailer is all about a Tankard is to describe you in just one tweet. So, like Jules said, it's the level of Hollywood, that's what people want to see. That's what kind of gets people to watch it when you do the bling bling. But after you start watching the show and get beyond the whole Hollywood aspect, then you got to see, oh, Cyrene reminds me of my sister, or Jewel reminds me of my aunt. You found yourself or a family member in the show. And that's what drove the ratings to number one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we also have to remember that our stuff does not define us. Mm-hmm. So what I drive or how I live or what I wear does not define me, but it's how I behave, how I treat people. And so I'm hoping that we don't, because if we're not careful, we'll just go into an economic slavery in that if you have, then you got to hide it. But if I don't have, I don't hide that. So if I do have, well, I got to hide it. Mm-hmm. I mean, last time I checked, we were free. So I think that the mindset of people adjusting to African Americans working hard. I mean, nobody gave Ben and I anything. We didn't inherit some large sum of money. Everything we got was because we were diligent. And the Bible says the hand of the diligent shall bear rule. So if I work hard and I'm focused and I'm diligent, I should be able to live the life that I want to live. Now, if your American dream is different, well, then just live it. But don't be mad at mine.
Right. It's an interesting conversation because you kind of put yourself in the path to have folks have that feedback about you, right? Mm-hmm. By doing the show, you raise that opportunity for people to decide who you are, what you are.
That's true.
So do you find yourselves having to constantly set the story straight because of the reality TV show?
Well, I just wanted to set people straight early on that we volunteer as pastors. Yeah. For them to be angry about me having stuff, I'm used to that because I came from poverty, and I know that people that live in poverty oftentimes hate people that are wealthy. So I've experienced that my own self. So I wasn't trying to debate in my answers as to trying to justify my living. I just wanted people to know where it came from.
Yeah.
It didn't come from the church. It came from 15 gold albums, 6 platinum albums, 12 Stellar Awards,
all
8
the artists that you work with, Yolanda Adams on down. Huh?
That's where it came from. So you still mad, it's up to you. But I just want you to know what to be mad about.
Right.
Yeah. To me, it's just kind of like people are always going to have something to say. So I didn't even feel like wasting my breath because when I went to school, like the next day after the episodes, well, I don't like what your mom said or what your dad did or this, that, and I'm like, well, I don't care. I'm sorry, But it's like I'm not gonna go off and explain every little situation, every little detail, because that's just like what you want to think is what you want to think. So why waste my breath?
But people have been inspired. That's the downside of reality, the criticism.
But the high side
is people, hundreds of letters and emails and texts. Oh my goodness, my family, we can't wait for Sunday nights because we get together around pizza and we watch Thicker Than Water. We watch your family, and then we talk about our issues and our problems. So thank you for having this show because it caused us to have a family meeting that we would not have had.
Yeah, it is like a lot of people were inspired. So that was the cool side about it. The criticism is like, but the cool side is that people were inspired.
So I want to talk a little about you, Cyrene, because you a teenager in the midst of all of this, and as you said, your friends had their own version of their feedback about all the things that happened in your family. But you faced a little bit of an interesting situation because you've got such a tight-knit family. Everybody was involved, it seemed, in some of the decisions about you.
Yes.
Boyfriends.
Yes.
I think there was even a basketball game, the one-on-one, in order for him to even take her out. So how did you feel about some of these things that happened? And would they have happened without the camera there?
Yes. And and I mean, it's two sides. One side of me, like the normal teenage girl, is like, oh my God, please get out of my business. But the other side is like, okay, you know what, I have to appreciate it because a lot of females, a lot of girls would love to have a caring family that looks out for them. And once you realize that it's out of love, you're not nearly as upset or like irritated. Yes, you are initially irritated because it's like, dang, let me live my life. But on the other side, it's like, okay, I need this, I need to be nurtured, I need to be guided. Without them, I'd probably be doing some crazy stuff. So at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I appreciate it, thank you, but fan out a little bit, but thank you.
And that will have happen with the cameras on or off?
Oh yeah, that would have definitely. I mean, we're like that with all of our children.
Wow.
You know,
Like when you say it's reality, it's reality.
She's pretty pushy.
I
She
felt
is.
bad for the young man in that circle and see a family
No,
members
so did
around.
I. So did I.
Now, up to now, would you say I'm the cooler parent? Because she's more
Yeah.
pushy than me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
the cooler.
but I feel like girls need, and particularly, and I'm like that with my sons too. But with my girls, I'm definitely overprotective. We live in a crazy world. You know what I mean? And you know, there's always going to be somebody trying to get in some kind of way that can deter them or distract them from their destiny. So I feel like the old school mamas and daddies. So I'm new school, but I got some old school in me. Where I want to know who you talking to, what you doing, where you going. You know, because I want to make sure that we help them make the best possible decisions, because they're going to have to live with the consequences of it. And sometimes those consequences end up being the responsibility of other people. So I'm very much old school in that regard. And I know it gets on their nerves, but they know I love
we
them.
take turns being a good cop, bad cop. So sometimes I'm the bad guy.
They like
She's the public-
pre-plan.
she's the public
Sometimes I be
defender.
like,
They
"Hey,
pre-plan
cool
it. Like they're like, okay, what are you gonna play today? I'm like, you guys.
She knows what's going on.
No. We just had a situation last week. I know.
Well, let's take a quick break. This has certainly been a fun